All right, good night, good night. What's going on, y'all? It's your boy OG. Man, today I'm excited. So, just first of all, thank you for all of you who have been on this journey with me, all two or three of you. I appreciate it. I'm just sitting here in my room office, and every day at the end of the day, I make a podcast and or video recording. So the podcast came first. I believe we're on number 13 with the podcast. If you see me looking over here, I'm looking at my laptop and the microphone's right over here. So this is the 13th day that I've done the podcast. And I've tried to do it every day consecutively except for weekend days. And I think I did miss a Friday. Um, and then I decided to add videos because, again, as part of my creative goal, I had two goals for this year. One goal was to focus intently on Become a Hustler 365, the making of a six-figure business in the first year of inception, right? And the documentation of such a business. So, you know, we started with the first one, right? We got in business exactly. It was July 7th, which was a Tuesday, and now it is August 6th. So tomorrow would be the 7th of the month. And so technically, I guess tomorrow is my full month in the business. And so, again, I just wanted to document that. Today's video and podcast is going to be looking at the lessons I learned in the first month. So one of the things that's important to do is that it is important to plan, do, review, right? So I've made a plan, I've written it out, documented it. I want to make a six-figure business in the first year, or a six-figure entity. So that's just the main focus. I don't know exactly how it's going to happen yet. I don't have all the details figured out, but I'm locked in on a goal. It's an arbitrary goal, but it's a goal for me to help me stay focused and, lined up. And it helps me frame everything else, right? Because I know that that goal requires a certain amount in my personal life, my health, my family life, sacrifices from other things. And so I'm setting it high, kind of high. I think a year from now or 2 years from now, I might laugh at what high is, but that's the whole objective here, is to set it high and to pick that number to stay focused on. So in the first month, I'm probably going to type out a report somewhere or maybe do a report podcast, but honestly, in the first month, there's not that much to report, right? I think I said the other day that my expenses so far have been, give or take, $25 to start this business. I entered into a bit of a unique partnership where I didn't have to come up with the money for marketing to start off. So probably for the first 3 to 6 months, I'm not providing the marketing money, and I'm giving up some of the percentage of the profits in order to do that, right? Because marketing is a skill, and even though I know and I understand marketing, I haven't dug into marketing in this field yet, and I don't want to think about it right now. Right now, I just want to learn the mechanisms of the business. I don't want to be learning how to do the business and how to market the business at the same time, if that makes sense. So I guess I'm learning the sales and recruiting side of the business, since that is the dominant part of the business. And then we'll start adding on brick by brick a little bit more of the other parts. So moving along, here's my report. My expenses were about $25. My revenue to date is zero. I've made no money. Now, it's an interesting number, that number zero. But when you're working on commission and you're filling your funnel, you've got to come to a realization of what that looks like. And so for me, what it looks like roughly about 3 to 4 weeks of marketing, recruiting, sales, um, and moving people through the process. And the process, the business cycle in this industry is 2 to 4 weeks, right? So typically, from the time someone starts the process to the time they do their background check, to the time they go to an orientation, to the time they do a road test, driving test, it could be a 2 to 4 week cycle. Most of these people already have jobs, so most of them want to put in their 2 week notice. They don't want to just leave and abandon a job. So you've got to understand that this is a business that pays you for filling up your funnel in the first 90 days, and then if you understand marketing, the sales, the commissions start trickling through the funnel, and the more you pour in, they start pouring through the funnel. So that's where we're at right now. So the revenue so far is zero. I don't expect it to be zero for much longer, but I will report openly and honestly with you guys exactly what I'm learning from the process. And again, the good, bad, ugly, right? So real quick, I'm just going to go through some bullet points on some things that I learned. In addition to that, by the way, that's a very interesting thing to do, is to work an entire month without earning income. Now, I took this on knowing that, I actually took it on without the expectation of earning any significant income for at least 3 months for the first 90 days. So, of course, I'd hoped to continue making money earlier, but I understood and got myself emotionally set up to not rely on this for my income. So, we're good. We're good with our living for some time. So let me tell you some things that I learned in my first month. Okay, let's just blaze through it. So in the first month, I learned to be patient and to trust the process. So again, even though I prepared myself mentally and emotionally for not having immediate results, we're still impatient creatures, right? A lot of times we want to see results. We need to see results to give us the confidence that what we're doing, that we're on the right path. And so it was difficult in the first month to be patient. Any of you, if you remember how it felt like to do any kind of sales or recruiting, you can start off desperate. You start off wanting that money, wanting that whatever that measurement of success is. So that's been one of the first things. Number two, the second thing is I learned about time compression. Time compression is that, I work in a non-traditional environment, so it's not, there are no hours, right? I get calls on the weekend sometimes, I get calls after hours. I choose when to answer them. I can start my day at 8:30 Central Time, 7:30 Central Time. I can start my job at 10:30 or 11:30. So you realize that, there's no such a 12-hour day, a 10-hour day, a 6-hour day. They all have nothing in common. And if you compress your time and you say, hey, look, I'm locking in from this time to this time, you can actually get more done in 4 hours in some days than you can in 12 hours some other days. So I learned some tricks in terms of like how to maximize my time and how to really like work when it's time to work versus this kind of long work day where you feel like you're working but you're really wasting a lot of time, right? I also learned to stay hungry and stay focused. It's very easy to, again, absent results because we're trained, right? Like, how many people will study for the test if the test doesn't count, right? If they won't get an A, if they don't see any results. We're trained to be results oriented. So it was difficult to stay focused on what my goals and my objectives were. My goals and my objectives were, one, learn a new skill and industry, right? So it's not just about the results, but learning. Learning is growing deep roots, roots that will plant you for a long time and help you much longer. So it's not always about the immediate result, right? So stay hungry and also stay focused. I did that by listening to personal development every single day. I did that by looking at my goals. Actually, my backdrop of my phone is my goals so that I can see those goals every single day when I open my phone. I can also see them before I go to sleep, before I wake, as soon as I wake up. So stay focused. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. In the first month, I had several uncomfortable moments. Moments where I was challenged on my knowledge. I was challenged on my experience. I was challenged. My pride was challenged, and so there were uncomfortable moments. Uncomfortable moments, right? There were moments where I was acting out of character or knew that like I was not being the best I could be, and so there was a lot of uncomfortable moments. And just being on the phone. Anybody who's been on the phone with people, just being on the phone is can be uncomfortable, right? Having conversations with strangers, even though I'm not asking for any money or anything, there's uncomfortable moments that you have to get comfortable with, right? So that's another thing. Trust your instincts. That's another thing that I learned, right? Like a lot of times we have a lot of what it takes, but we always feel we've been trained to check in with other people, right? To check in to find out, hey, can I, should I? And learning that, you know what you need to do. Just do it. Don't wait on anybody else. That was a part of the learning process for me in the first month. Excuse me. Two more things. Take care of your health. Yeah, I had a situation probably in my second week where I was going really hard and I wasn't getting much sleep, but I was still waking up early and really locked in on desperately getting results. And I began to get dizzy and I was not feeling good at all. And it cost me a couple days. Honestly, it was lingering with me probably for 4 or 5 days. I was not at my peak, right? So take care of your health. If you don't have your health, you have nothing else. You don't even have the ability to work. So that was my lesson, and the lesson that I'm still learning, right? So, but it's a big one. Your health is the foundation. Your sleep, your water intake, your even sitting all this time, right? It's sedentary. It's not a very good way to live. So if you can stand up or get the right kind of chair, the right kind of desk, it's important. Sorry, for those of you on the podcast, I'm coughing into the mic and in the camera. I apologize, although I can edit that out. Last but not least, work on you more than your business. Right? Work on you more than your business. Again, everything I've mentioned, getting comfortable, being uncomfortable, developing your discipline, all these things are really about you, right? Your personhood, your dreams, how you manage desire, how you manage discipline. So work on you. Again, I did that by listening to personal development audios every single day, reading books. One of the great books I read this month was a book called Relentless. And Relentless was a really good book. Also, what's another one that The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale, listening to that every day, focusing on programming my subconscious. It's just really a lot of inner work, right? So those were the 7 things that I learned this month. This is much longer than I thought. So let me just quickly touch on what I'm going to change going into the next month. So what I've reviewed my experience. I've reviewed the benefits of things and the things that I thought there might be benefit, but turned out to not have that much benefit. And I think that for the second month, I've decided that I'm going to, now that I have more information and more data, because remember, I jumped into this with relatively no data, like just, partner's word and relatively no data. So what I've decided is that I'm going to a four. Seems like I locked myself in the office, and somebody wanted to get a hold of me, right? All right, so let's touch on this last bit here, right? So the what I'm gonna do is I'm moving to a 4-day work week. Just turn this a lot brighter. You, no, we don't need all that. Yeah, we're going to a 4-day work week. Um, 4 days, and I think I'm gonna work maybe 9 hours a day. So I'm still gonna get in a lot of work, but that leaves Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for some other projects that are really important to me that can actually even assist the work that I'm doing right now. Okay, so it's one of those things where I don't think I'm going to lose any efficiency. And I gathered more data. Found out that Fridays are actually like in this industry are actually kind of almost nothing happens. So maybe a half day, and that allowed me to figure out, what, maybe I should try just going really hard Monday through Thursday, and then cutting myself a break and moving into some other stuff on Friday. The second thing is work with more intensity. That goes with the first four, right? Work with more focus and intensity. So when it's work time on Monday through Thursday, don't share that time with anything else. Go full on with that. Don't do any of your other projects. Don't be trading. Don't be, lock in on that, because you're going to have the time to do what you also want to do on the outside on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And in order to do that, get better organized and efficient. So better use of my phone time, better use of my schedule, right? Get better organized, make more use of the time. We all have the same amount of time, but we don't all use it the same. So that being said, guys, I've got to run. Got a family to tuck in. They're banging on the door here. But until next time, take care. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.